The council chamber of Echelon Prime stood like a cathedral carved from stars, its towering arches and gravitic pillars humming softly as if the cosmos itself were holding its breath. Delegates from 100 species shifted in their anti-grav seats, the usual chorus of diplomatic murmurs replaced by uneasy silence. Then the chamber doors slammed open. A shriveled form stumbled in, Zermal, elder delegate of the Ceralii enclave. His chitinous limbs trembled, mandibles quivering, one claw clutching his abdomen where deep burns sizzled beneath cracked ceremonial robes. He took 3 faltering steps forward. Then 2 more. His voice rasped through the chamber's translator grid. "May the gods help you, when humans go mad." A moment later he collapsed. Dead. Panic flickered like a storm front. The Dreth, Yannick, and Shilteri reps muttered in their native tongues. Some stood. Others watched in cold calculation. From high above, orbiting silently in Earth's flagship ICS Revenant, General Eva Kalin watched it all unfold. "Pause playback," she ordered. The screen froze. Zermal suspended mid-fall, eyes wide with something deeper than pain. Fear. Kalin stood motionless, arms folded behind her back. A titanium clasp gleamed on her black uniform collar, 3 blood-red stars denoting high command. The bridge around her buzzed with low-toned reports, but no one dared disturb her. "Run it again," she said. As the feed resumed, her second-in-command, Lieutenant Commander Idris, stepped up. "Ceralii security claims he was ambushed en route. No attackers identified. Internal cameras cut out just before." Kalin didn't respond. Her gaze lingered on the moment the delegate fell, less on the collapse, more on the message. "When humans go mad." She knew what that meant. 3 days ago, she'd received an encrypted transmission from an untraceable Dreth source. "The Council will vote to disarm you. It's a trap. They've made a deal with the Hive. Your outer colonies will fall within a month unless you act now." She hadn't shared it, not yet. "Commander," Idris said, lowering his voice, "the Council's convening again in 4 hours. Vathak is accelerating the vote." Of course he is, Kalin thought. She turned toward the viewport. Echelon Prime glowed below, a ringed monolith orbiting a dying neutron star. Beautiful, in the way death often was. "Send word to Earth Command," she said. "Authorization level Omega 6. Idris hesitated. "Red Exodus?" "Yes." He saluted and left without another word. Later, in the council chamber, Kalin's arrival silenced even the Dreth delegates. She entered flanked by 2 sentinels, tall cybernetic soldiers, human but heavily augmented. No weapons, but no one missed the implication. She took her seat without greeting anyone. Chancellor Vathak stood across the floor. Tall, reptilian, his regal Dreth robes shimmered with Nero silk. His tone was polished as ever, precise, poisonous. "We gather under the shadow of tragedy," he began, gesturing toward Zermal's vacant seat. "And yet, we must not allow panic to cloud reason. Humanity's unchecked militarization must be corrected for the greater peace." He let the last word hang in the air like a threat veiled in diplomacy. "Earth maintains 47% of AEC military presence," he continued. 17 fleets, 5 frontier dreadnoughts, and orbital defenses around 6 non-Terran worlds. This is unsustainable. Provocative. Kalin spoke without rising. "You mean necessary?" Vathak's slit pupils narrowed. "The war is over." She met his gaze. "We've learned not to trust declarations of peace made by those who don't bleed when it breaks." A ripple of tension moved through the chamber. The Ceralii delegate, a younger stand-in, pale with grief, murmured. Zermal feared this moment. Kalin turned slightly toward him. "He died trying to warn you." Vathak cut in smoothly. "Emotion clouds judgment. The Council must act with clarity. The vote will proceed at second cycle." He sat motionless. A spider laying threads. Back aboard the Revenant, Kalin entered the secure core, a narrow chamber behind thick blast doors. A Dreth waited inside, unarmed, unarmored, visibly nervous. "Speak," she said. I serve Vathak's intelligence core, he whispered. 3 cycles ago, he contacted the Zorati hive. Offered them a corridor through neutral space in exchange for Earth's elimination. Proof? She asked. He handed her a Neuro crystal. Encoded with comms logs. Audio, telemetry. Hive fleet movements. They're already staging near Helix Rim. How long until they strike? The Dreth hesitated. They wait for the vote. Once human fleets stand down. Kalen didn't flinch. You've done your part. Now disappear. The Dreth nodded and left. Kalen slotted the crystal into the core interface. Data streamed across the screen, fleet vectors, confirmed transmissions, Vathak's unmistakable voice. Ensure Earth is alone. I'll deliver the disarmament. You deliver annihilation. 2 hours later, she stood before her command staff. We have confirmation. Vathak plans to open Earth's throat to the hive. A murmur ran through the room. Effective immediately. She continued. Red Exodus is live. We launch Ghost Fleet deployments to known hive staging grounds. Covert positioning. No signals. Idris nodded grimly. And the Council? I'll give them a choice, Kalen said. Truth or fire. As the second cycle bell rang across Echelon Prime, the Council chamber filled again. Delegates glanced between one another, some wary, some resolute. Vathak rose. The vote begins now. Kalen stood. Her voice sliced through the chamber like cold steel. I have evidence that this vote is treason. Delegates gasped. Vathak sneered. Empty accusations. Kalen raised her wrist. A projection burst forth, intercepted transmissions, coordinates, Zorati fleet logs. Then Vathak's voice, crystal clear. Once the humans are disarmed, strike without delay. Silence dropped like a guillotine. Then screams erupted as alerts flashed across every console. Zorati ships had entered human space. Outer colonies were under attack. Vathak stood frozen. Kalen stepped forward, voice low but absolute. You brought this war. And you will watch what we do to those who threaten our home. No one spoke. She turned, cloak swaying behind her, and exited the chamber. Above, in high orbit, Revenant prepared to launch Hell. The Zorati invasion had begun. By the time the Council's emergency session was called, 3 human colonies had gone dark. No signals, no life signs. Just empty space where bustling worlds once rotated. General Eva Kalen stood alone in the briefing room of the ICS Revenant, a single image rotating above the table, the last transmission from the colony Viridian Reach, a flickering child's voice, a scream, then static. Lieutenant Commander Idris entered quietly. Red Exodus ghost ships have entered Phase 1 positioning. No detection so far. Kalen nodded, eyes locked on the screen. What's the Council doing? They're panicking. Vathak's vanished. Yannick delegates requested contact. Sorelii sent condolences. Kravta offered support, discreetly. She looked up. And the vote? Still passed. Motion to disarm human fleets remains on record. Kalen's expression hardened. Then we treat them all as potential hostiles until proven otherwise. Hours later, in a secured wing of Echelon Prime, she met with the Yannick envoy, an AI housed in a translucent humanoid shell. Its voice, while mechanical, held measured weight. We have reviewed the data, it said. The Dreth Chancellor engaged in unauthorized diplomacy with a genocidal force. You have our support for now. For now? Kalen asked. Trust is not given. But logic is clear. She inclined her head. Then you understand what happens next. We do. And we have suggestions to optimize retaliation. Next, she met the Kravtal war leader aboard his bone-plated vessel Sharkratal. General Rog of the Kravtal was massive, his clawed fingers adorned with ceremonial teeth, tokens of personal victory. He laughed the moment Kalen stepped aboard. I told the Council the humans would never kneel, he growled. Now I get to see it proven. Not all of you wanted to see us fall. He bared his fangs. The rest wanted safety. They forgot that peace is just war paused. What do you want, Kalen? Loyalty. At least until this is done. Rog leaned forward. And after? That depends who's left breathing. The Ceralii were different. Nervous. Pacifist. Yet something in Zermal's final words seemed to echo in their collective memory. Kalen met with his apprentice, Delegate Venthal, a pale, feathered being who spoke with slow, thoughtful cadence. Zermal warned us, he whispered. But we thought the madness would come from your warlust. She didn't correct him. You still believe it will? No. Now I think it will come from your grief. Kalen didn't flinch. Then don't let us bury more worlds. Venthal hesitated. Then offered a ceremonial data spike, access to Ceralii deep space relay systems. A sign of trust, he said. Returning to the Revenant, Kalen reviewed the Tri-Alliance uplink feeds. 3 powerful voices now stood behind Earth, uneasy, but committed. Still, it wasn't enough. On a private channel, she connected with Earth Central. The encrypted transmission hummed for a moment before Admiral Rios appeared, face worn but alert. Red Exodus is ready, he said. Status? All payloads locked. AI constraints in place. Targets logged. Final authorization remains with you. Kalen paused. Any news from the colonies? Rios hesitated. We received 1 survivor transport. 17 souls. Out of 3 million. Silence stretched. Rios added quietly. Eva, the footage isn't suitable for broadcast. Kalen's jaw tensed. Send it anyway. Let the council choke on it. Inside Echelon Prime's council hall, the broadcast flickered to life. First, a static-ridden call for aid. Then, Zorit Spor's ships unleashing clouds that stripped flesh from steel. Last, a child's voice. Please don't leave us. The hall fell utterly still. Kalen stepped into the center, uninvited. Her voice carried without amplification. Earth offered peace. You demanded submission. Then you sold our worlds for your quiet sky. Vathak's absence now felt like guilt manifest. No one spoke. We have no illusions left, she continued. We are not here to plead. We are here to declare, humanity is no longer under your protection. We will survive by our hands alone. A Kravta war priest roared in approval. The Yannick flickered in silent accord. Even the Ceralii offered a slow nod. Kalen turned and walked out. No one stopped her. Back aboard the Revenant, Idris met her at the command deck. They're hesitating. But the alliances hold. They won't hold forever, she said. Only long enough. Long enough for what? She looked out at the stars beyond the viewport. To make them remember. Later that night, she sat in her private quarters, eyes dark, body still armored. A bottle of Old Earth bourbon sat untouched on the desk. A private message blinked on her terminal. An old friend. A whisper from the past. She opened it. They were right to fear you. But not for the reasons they thought. She closed the message, leaned back, and finally let the silence settle. Outside, deep in the black, Red Exodus ships drifted like ghosts, silent, cloaked, deadly. She whispered, Soon. The council chamber shook. First, a low rumble. Then alarms. Lights flickered. One of the outer domes buckled under pressure as something massive collided with the outer hull. The delegates scrambled, some to shelters, others to hide behind layers of protocol and privilege. But no one was in control now. Above Echelon Prime, Zoridi boarding pods burst from the void like black wasps. They pierced hull plating, anchoring deep. Swarms poured through, chitin-armored, shrieking in clicks and static, cutting down anything that moved. It had begun. General Eva Kalen stood on the ICS Revenant's command deck, perfectly still, as the stars burned quietly outside. Their ships are inside the station, Idris said beside her, voice clipped. Council security is failing. Kalen didn't look away from the hologram of Echelon Prime, now blooming with emergency markers. Vathak? Unaccounted for. Cowards slipped away during the panic. Kaylin tapped her wrist. Broadcast link. Full council. Open transmission. A 3-second delay, then, the face of chaos. Dozens of species on screen, shouting over one another, screens jostling, systems failing. Kaylin raised her voice, not loud, but absolute. This is General Eva Kaylin of Earth's Interstellar Command. Cease your chaos. Listen. The room calmed, like a storm stilled by a sudden drop in pressure. This attack wasn't a surprise. It was planned. Your Chancellor brokered it. We warned you. Behind her, Idris activated the feed, live drone footage of Zorati troops slaughtering on Echelon's decks. Then the intercepted transmissions. Vathak's voice. The Hive's response. The deal. The betrayal. Delegates froze. Eyes widened. A Yannick node simply shut down in shock. Kaylin leaned forward, voice cold as iron. You were warned. You ignored us. Now you'll watch. She ended the transmission. The Revenant launched. Engines flared. Red Exodus ships, hidden until now, peeled away from shadow orbits, revealing their presence in every contested system. Unmanned? Silent. Each bristled with graviton warheads, AI-controlled countermeasures, and singularity payloads. Across 10 star sectors, they activated in unison. No warnings. No negotiations. One by one, stars collapsed. Not exploded, collapsed. Within minutes, entire Zorati fleet groups vanished inside swallowing darkness, their engines and weapons meaningless in the face of physics itself breaking apart. On a classified feed, Kaylin watched the first starfold breach, a blue sun folding into a single point before erupting into silence. She didn't blink. Inside Echelon Prime, the remaining Zorati began retreating, sensing something wrong. Too late. Auxiliary hulls failed. Gravitational tides from a nearby collapsed system tugged at the station's orbit. Rescue crafts scrambled. In the command bridge, Kaylin turned to Idris. Send the message. Idris nodded. The transmission blared across every known frequency. To all systems, the Zorati betrayal has been answered. Earth stands unbroken. To those who aided them, consider this your only warning. Kaylin stepped off the bridge, leaving her crew in stunned silence. She didn't look back. Vathak was found 3 days later on a smuggler's skiff near the Dreth border. His own guards turned him in. No trial was broadcast. He simply disappeared. Sorelii delegates offered prayers. The Yannick Council updated their files with a new cautionary tag: Humanity, active threat, stable behavior, unreliable. Do not provoke. Kravta warriors sent Earth gifts, ceremonial blades, relics of ancient wars. One message read, You fought like gods. We remember. Weeks passed. Echelon Prime limped back online. The Council remained, technically. But it no longer ruled. Earth didn't ask for power. It didn't need to. In the new assembly chamber, far smaller, far quieter, Kaylin stood before what was left of the AEC. She wore no armor now. Just the dark uniform of Earth's old fleet. One star on her chest. A silent tribute to the lives lost. She addressed them without theatrics. We warned you. You called it madness. You gambled with our lives. Now you understand what we are. No one interrupted. We do not seek conquest. We do not crave vengeance. But if threatened, we will not wait to be buried. She turned to leave, then stopped. Peace, if you still want it, comes at a price. And now you know the cost of breaking it. She left them in silence. From her private quarters aboard Revenant, Kaylin watched Earth rise from orbit. The planet, blue, brilliant, untouched, spun beneath her. Idris entered quietly. The Yannick want to open diplomatic restoration protocols. They'll be the first to forget what happened, she said. Should we let them? Kaylin didn't answer immediately. Then, let them. But leave Red Exodus in orbit. No deactivation. He nodded and left. In the void beyond, the ghost fleet drifted. Silent. waiting. And though the galaxy would tell stories of the Zoriki War and the vengeance of Earth, only one truth remained. When humans go mad, they don't scream. They don't rage. They simply erase you.